Hello, I'm Sakiz, and on this channel, we explore fictional mysterious stories that feel eerily close to reality. Today, I'm going to tell you a story that reveals the darkest side of sleep technology and parallel dimension travel. This story begins with Lisa Chen, a 32-year-old marketing manager living alone in Chicago. Lisa didn't just buy a smart mattress for better sleep, she discovered a doorway to a life she had always dreamed of living. But choosing between two realities would come with a cost she never imagined. This isn't just a technology malfunction. This is proof of how sleep tracking devices could become portals to parallel dimensions, and how the perfect life in another universe might be more dangerous than any nightmare. Are you ready? Let's go back to that night when everything began, October 3, 2024, Thursday evening. Lisa Chen returned to her small studio apartment in Chicago after another exhausting 12-hour workday. At 32, her life had become a cycle of disappointment and stress that seemed impossible to break. Her marketing job was soul-crushing. Her boss, Michael, constantly belittled her work. Her projects were ignored. Her salary barely covered rent in an expensive city. She worked twice as hard as her male colleagues but received half the recognition. Her personal life was equally bleak. She had broken up with her boyfriend 6 months ago after discovering his infidelity. Her mother in California was battling stage 3 breast cancer, requiring expensive treatments that Lisa helped fund, draining her savings. She rarely saw friends anymore, too busy, too tired, too depressed. Lisa's insomnia had worsened over the past year. She slept maybe 4 hours per night, often waking in panic attacks, her mind racing with anxieties about work, money, her mother's health, her loneliness. That's why she ordered the SleepSync X9 smart mattress. The advertisement promised revolutionary sleep optimization through AI-powered comfort adjustment and dream enhancement technology. It cost $3,000, money Lisa didn't have, charged to a credit card already maxed out. But she was desperate. The SleepSync arrived on October 3. The delivery team installed it quickly, explaining the basic features. The mattress tracked sleep cycles, body temperature, heart rate, and brain wave activity. It adjusted firmness in real time to optimize REM sleep. The salesperson mentioned enhanced dreaming capabilities, but didn't elaborate. That first night, Lisa set up the SleepSync app on her phone, syncing it with the mattress. The interface asked unusual questions. Rate your satisfaction with your current life, 1 to 10. Lisa clicked 2. If you could change one thing about your reality, what would it be? Lisa typed, everything. She lay down on the SleepSync at 11 p.m., exhausted as always. The mattress felt different, almost alive, adjusting beneath her, warming strategically, somehow knowing exactly where her body hurt. Within minutes, she fell into the deepest sleep she'd experienced in years. Lisa opened her eyes to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. But these weren't her windows. Her studio had one small window facing a brick wall. She sat up, confused. This wasn't her bedroom. This was a spacious, modern master bedroom with minimalist design, expensive furniture, and a view of Lake Michigan from what appeared to be a high-rise luxury apartment. Lisa looked down. She was wearing silk pajamas she'd never owned. On the nightstand sat a framed photo, Lisa smiling, standing next to a handsome man in a tuxedo at what looked like their wedding. But Lisa had never been married. Her heart pounding, Lisa got out of bed, the same SleepSync mattress, she noticed, and walked through the apartment. It was enormous. 3 bedrooms, a gourmet kitchen, living room with art she recognized wanting but could never afford. On the refrigerator, a photo collage, Lisa graduating from Northwestern's business school. Lisa accepting an award as Marketing Director of the Year. Lisa and the man from the bedroom photo on vacation in Bali, Paris, Tokyo. Lisa's phone buzzed on the counter, but it was a newer iPhone model than she owned. The screen showed messages from Mom, feeling great today. The doctors say I'm in complete remission. Thank you for everything, sweetheart. Remission. Her mother was healthy in this reality. Lisa opened the phone, somehow it unlocked to her face, and saw her life laid out in photos and messages. In this reality, she was Lisa Chen, director of marketing at a Fortune 500 company. She was married to Daniel, an architect. They had a beautiful home. Her mother had beaten cancer. Her career was thriving. She had friends, hobbies, happiness. This was everything she'd dreamed of. Everything her real life wasn't. "Good morning, beautiful." A man walked into the kitchen, Daniel from the photos. He kissed her forehead naturally, as if he'd done it 1,000 times. "I made coffee. You slept in late. Are you feeling okay?" Lisa stared at him, unable to speak. This man acted like her husband. Like they'd been together for years. Like this was normal. "Lisa?" Daniel looked concerned. "Are you okay? You look pale." I need a minute," Lisa managed to say, retreating to the bathroom. In the mirror, she saw herself, but better. Her skin glowed. Her hair was professionally styled. She looked rested, healthy, happy. She looked like a version of herself that had never known struggle or suffering. Lisa spent the entire day in this parallel reality, trying to understand what was happening. She went to work at a downtown office, where colleagues greeted her warmly. Her boss praised a presentation she apparently gave last week. She had an office with a view, a salary that was triple what she actually earned. At lunch, she met with friends, women she vaguely recognized from her real life, but in this reality, they were close. They laughed about inside jokes Lisa didn't understand but somehow felt familiar with. Everything was perfect. Everything was what she'd wanted her life to be. But around 6 p.m., Lisa began feeling drowsy. Exhausted. Like her body was pulling her back to sleep despite having slept 10 hours and feeling rested. Daniel drove her home, concerned about her sudden fatigue. Lisa made it to their bedroom, collapsed onto the SleepSync mattress, and her eyes closed involuntarily. She woke up gasping in her studio apartment. Her real apartment. Small, dark, depressing. The clock showed 7 a.m., October 4th. She'd slept for 8 hours straight, the first time in months. Lisa looked around in devastation. She was back. Back to her real life. The perfect parallel reality had been a dream. Or had it? She grabbed her phone, her old, cracked iPhone, and opened the SleepSync app. A notification waited, dimensional crossing complete. Subject experienced parallel reality #4821. Subject satisfaction rating, 98%. Would you like to return? Below the message, a simple button, return to better life. Lisa stared at the button. The SleepSync hadn't given her better dreams. It had transported her consciousness to a parallel dimension where her life had gone right. Where every choice had worked out. Where she was happy. And she could go back. Lisa called in sick to work that day. She couldn't face her real job after experiencing what her life could have been. She spent the day researching the SleepSync, finding scattered forum posts from other users experiencing two real dreams and alternate life experiences. Most dismissed it as vivid dreaming. But a few users claimed they'd traveled to parallel dimensions. One post from a user named Marcus_77 read, "I've been living my alternate life for 3 months now. My real life is hell. My parallel life is heaven. The SleepSync lets me escape every night. I don't want to wake up anymore." That night, October 4th, Lisa didn't hesitate. She opened the SleepSync app and pressed Return to Better Life. She lay down and fell asleep immediately. She woke in the luxury apartment. Daniel beside her, sleeping peacefully. This time, Lisa knew what to expect. She knew this was a parallel dimension. And she knew she preferred it to her reality. For the next 2 weeks, Lisa established a pattern. She'd wake in her studio apartment, force herself through 8 to 10 hours of her miserable real life, then rush home to sleep in the SleepSync and return to her parallel paradise. In her parallel life, she was thriving. Her marriage to Daniel deepened, even though she was essentially impersonating his wife, their love felt real. Her career advanced. Her mother remained healthy. She made genuine connections with her parallel life friends. In her real life, she was deteriorating. She showed up to work only when absolutely necessary. She stopped caring about her appearance. She ignored calls from her real mother in California. Nothing mattered except getting back to sleep, back to the SleepSync, back to the dimension where she was happy. Her real-life coworkers noticed. Her boss called her to a meeting. "Lisa, your performance has fallen off a cliff," Michael said bluntly. "You're distracted, you miss deadlines, you look like you haven't slept in weeks even though you call in sick constantly. What's going on?" "I'm dealing with personal issues," Lisa said flatly. It was true. Her personal issue was that this reality wasn't the one she wanted to live in. "Well, deal with them faster, or we'll need to discuss your employment," Michael said coldly. Lisa didn't care. She had a better job in her parallel life. By November, Lisa was spending 18 hours per day in her parallel dimension. The SleepSync app had updated, allowing longer, dimensional stays, as her brain adapted to the crossings. She'd wake in her studio around 2 a.m., force herself to stay awake just long enough to eat something and use the bathroom, then return to sleep by 3 a.m., crossing back to her parallel life where it would be evening, and she'd spend time with Daniel before their parallel bedtime. She was living two lives, but investing everything into the one that made her happy. Her real life crumbled completely. She was fired from her job in mid-November. Her landlord threatened eviction for late rent. Her mother's condition worsened, but Lisa couldn't bring herself to care. Her parallel mother was healthy and thriving. In her parallel life, everything got better. She received a promotion. Daniel surprised her with a weekend trip to Napa Valley. They started trying for a baby. Her parallel life was becoming more real to her than her original reality. But her body was suffering. The constant dimensional crossings were taking a physical toll. She'd lost 15 pounds. Her skin looked gray. Her eyes had dark circles. She was malnourished because she only ate in one reality. One night, Daniel in the parallel dimension noticed. "Lisa, you look thin," he said, concerned. "Have you been eating enough?" "I'm fine," she lied. But she wasn't fine. She was dying in one reality to live in another. A notification appeared on her parallel dimension phone from the SleepSync app. "Warning, extended dimensional consciousness transfer detected. Biological host body showing signs of neglect. Recommend balancing time between realities." Lisa dismissed it. She didn't want balance. She wanted to stay in this reality permanently. In late November, Lisa found herself too weak to get out of bed in her real-life apartment. She hadn't eaten in 2 days. She could barely move. Her body was shutting down from neglect. A knock on her door. Loud, insistent. "Lisa Chen. Wellness check. Open up." Building security, sent by concerned neighbors who'd heard nothing from her apartment in days. Lisa couldn't get up. The door opened, they'd used a master key. EMTs rushed in, found her severely dehydrated and malnourished. They transported her to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. In the emergency room, doctors were baffled. Lisa wasn't sick, she was starving herself. But she claimed she was eating regularly. Blood tests showed severe malnutrition. Brain scans revealed unusual activity in her sleep centers. A neurologist, Dr. Sarah Park, specialized in sleep disorders. When she saw Lisa's case and learned about the SleepSync mattress, her expression changed. "You're the fourth patient I've seen this month with this exact presentation," Dr. Park said. "All SleepSync users. All showing signs of consciousness fragmentation." Dr. Park explained, the SleepSync wasn't just tracking sleep. It was using experimental quantum technology to facilitate consciousness transfer to parallel dimensions. The company, Dream Tech Industries, was conducting unauthorized human trials. The technology works by detecting quantum signatures of parallel realities where your life diverged differently, Dr. Park said. It finds dimensions where you made different choices, where circumstances went differently. Then it transfers your consciousness there during REM sleep. But why is this dangerous? Lisa asked, though she knew the answer. Because consciousness can only exist in one place at a time, Dr. Park explained. When you transfer to a parallel dimension, your body here goes into a minimal life support state. The longer you stay away, the more your original body deteriorates. If you stay too long, your consciousness might not be able to return. You'll be trapped in the parallel dimension, and your body here will die. Lisa felt cold. How long can someone safely cross? 8 hours maximum per 24-hour period, Dr. Park said. You've been crossing for 18 to 20 hours daily. You're dangerously close to permanent consciousness displacement. What if? Lisa hesitated. What if I wanted to stay in the other reality? What if that life is better? Dr. Park looked sad, like she'd heard this before. That parallel version of you is already living that life. You're essentially possessing her body while she's asleep. If you stay permanently, you'll destroy her consciousness and steal her life. And your body here will die, leaving behind everyone who loves you in this reality. Lisa hadn't considered that. She'd been so focused on escaping her pain that she hadn't thought about whose life she was invading. Dr. Park admitted Lisa to the hospital for forced feeding and observation. They removed the SleepSync from her apartment. For 3 days, Lisa slept on a regular hospital bed, confined to one reality, her real, painful reality. Withdrawal was agonizing. She craved the parallel dimension like an addict craves drugs. She'd had a taste of happiness, and returning to suffering felt unbearable. On day 4, Dr. Park showed Lisa something on her tablet. We've been monitoring SleepSync users. 40 people have permanently crossed. Their bodies died here. But we found something in their parallel dimensions. The screen showed news articles from parallel realities, accessed through quantum computers. Headlines: Local woman found dead in apparent suicide. Marketing executive mysteriously dies in sleep. Healthy 32-year-old woman sudden death shocks community. These are the parallel versions, Dr. Park said quietly. When users permanently cross, they don't just take over the parallel body. They destroy the original consciousness. The parallel version dies or becomes catatonic. You weren't going to live happily ever after in that dimension, Lisa. You were going to murder the version of yourself that actually earned that life. Lisa felt sick. The perfect parallel life had a cost, killing herself. A different version, but still herself. The FBI shut down Dream Tech Industries. CEO Dr. Marcus Thompson was arrested for illegal human experimentation and 40 counts of negligent homicide. The SleepSync mattresses were recalled. Thousands of users were experiencing addiction to their parallel lives. Lisa entered a rehabilitation program for dimensional displacement addiction. It took 6 months of therapy to accept her reality and stop craving escape. She lost her apartment. Her mother passed away in January. Lisa hadn't been there in the final months, too obsessed with her parallel paradise. She had to rebuild her life from nothing. But it was her life. Real, painful, difficult, but authentic. She got a new job, not glamorous, but honest. She made real friends, not parallel versions. She started dating again, messily, awkwardly, but genuinely. A year later, Lisa thought about the parallel dimension sometimes. That perfect life where everything had gone right. But she realized something: happiness meant nothing if it wasn't earned, if it was stolen from another version of yourself, if you had to destroy your real body to achieve it. The SleepSync case revealed how sleep technology could become a dangerous escape mechanism, offering parallel realities that seem perfect but come with devastating costs. Dream tech industries had exploited quantum physics to give people access to their best possible lives, not caring that it destroyed both the users and their parallel counterparts. This fictional story explores the terrifying possibility of how consciousness transfer technology could be weaponized against our own dissatisfaction with reality. The grass isn't always greener in a parallel dimension. Sometimes it's built on the grave of the version of you who actually earned that life. Lisa Chen now works as a counselor helping other former SleepSync users recover from dimensional displacement addiction. She reminds us that escaping reality is tempting when life is hard, but true growth only happens when we face our challenges in the reality we actually inhabit. Content warning: this fictional story explores themes of reality escape, consciousness transfer, parallel dimension theft, and the ethics of stealing another version of yourself's life. Some viewers may find the content disturbing. The next time you're tempted by technology promising to make your dreams come true, remember Lisa Chen's story. Some dreams are meant to stay dreams. And the life you have, no matter how difficult, is the only one that's truly yours. Until next time, stay grounded in your reality.